If you think of strong, possibly even hero-defining moves, what comes to mind? Is it Sohei's zone attack for its ability to steal the neutral game? Is it Pirate's front step for its ability to force a reaction from your opponent? Maybe Tiandi's undodgeable sidesteps for their ability to catch dodges? Possibly even Pirate's pinning move because of its high damage and wall spot potential? Or is it Pirate's pistol shot for its ability to fucking break hyper armor, cause fuck you, that's why. Heroes' combat abilities are based around how well they can use the tools given to them, creating many very interesting scenarios with different interactions, giving For Honor the depth that it has. So let's just turn all of that on its head. How broken could we make heroes by giving them exactly one move from a different hero? Before I start though, I have to define what a move is. I classify things listed in the left column of the moveset list as abilities, unless there is a separate input listed like with Hammer Slam. Some moves are also pretty inconsistent when it comes to listing them. For example, Pirate's pistol shot is listed on the left and right column. So, to give an example, Tiandi's sidestep attacks. The listed attacks have both the undodgeable and crushing counter ability allocated to them. So if I were to share these moves, both of the abilities would be transferred, but the ability to dodge cancel would not be shared, since it is listed under the ability set. And here is where my aforementioned rules create another problem. Full block stances are out of the picture with my set rules. Every full block stance in the entire game requires another combo input. To put it bluntly, I will be pulling moves from different heroes without no rhyme or reason, but I will be explaining why. Starting off with a community favorite, Pirate. Pirate's kit is already absolutely insane in any mode. It basically covers any situation she finds herself in. In Dominion, her combination of map-wide cleaving moves and her recovery feints make her into a substantial threat. Her pistol shot allows her to easily confirm extra damage during gank situations, while constantly throwing out hard-hitting unblockables. In 1v1s, her stamina efficiency and her aforementioned high damage potential make her into a foe you really don't want to face. She has two, in quotation, weaknesses. She does not have access to a cleaving hyper armor attack in neutral, and she can be shut down with a light when she is not in the advantage state. We can address both of these with one attack that doesn't immediately come to mind. Sohei's neutral zone attack. That attack alone creates a scenario where if your opponent were to read the front step unblockable with a light attack, they would be punished with a 24 damage trait that initiates Pirate's combos. And if they try to read the zone with a guard break and you do the front step, they straight up just bump off. This would of course mean that Pirate loses her neutral zone attack, but it really isn't her strongest tool, so she would absolutely not miss it. Sohei is next up on the list of boring moves. Even though his kit allows him to be viable in 2v2 and 4v4 modes, his overall pathetic damage combined with his high stamina consumption and a lack of a true 50-50 are some of the main aspects that hold him back. As mentioned before, his zone already allows him to cheat himself out of the neutral game, so we just need to address his in-chain pressure. Two things immediately come to mind here: Pirate's backwards heavy unblockable and Juren's combo bash. Pirate's backwards heavy would give Sohei a true 50-50, since it can't be sidestepped after heavy hits done if it is soft finted. This means that you could collect souls disgustingly fast. The way her unblockable heavy is listed means you could also use the pin attack even after any combo finisher, exponentially increasing his pressure. The combo bash is also something that shouldn't be underestimated. Sohei can delay his combo zone after any attack long enough to catch both dodge and sidestep attempts, creating another true 50-50, which would chain into, well, another 50-50. If you wanted to keep the essence of Sohei while still making him substantially stronger, you could just give him Pirate's pistol shot, adding 5 damage to all heavies and allowing for a way easier and more lethal ganks. Since Pirate's pistol shot actually resets your chain, you could flow into another finisher after a heavy finisher, allowing for an even more effective gathering of souls. Juren's kit is covered on all fronts. Solid combo bashes and hard-hitting unblockables, with a few utility moves like his held heavy and held zone attack sprinkled in. Out of neutral, he has many options to start a fight. Yet, he lacks both a crushing counter and an option to pressure multiple opponents out of neutral at once. Two things come to mind here. If he wanted to further improve his neutral game, you could give him access to Jormungandr's front step heavy. Even though Jorm's front step is not unblockable like Pirate's, it both gains hyper armor faster and can be soft finted. His current non-held front step heavy is pretty much useless since I swear I get guard broken out of it like 9 times out of 10. Giving him both a hyper armored move and an extremely strong guard break stuffing move would make him even more oppressive in the neutral game. If you are satisfied with his neutral pressure and you want to break his in-chain momentum, I have an idea. Sohei's combo zone attack. I already mentioned it, but if you delay that zone attack, you can drag people into their dodge. This basically finds no use in Sohei's kit since there is no reason for you to just, dodge mid-chain. But Juren gives you 2 very solid reasons to move your fat ass out of his sights. Peacekeeper can have problems getting people to bleed, and lacks any form of external pressure on non-bleeding opponents. With no unblockables and no bashes to her... No bashes? Let's fix that. Let's give Peacekeeper Warmonger's front step bash. I don't know why they changed it to deal bleed damage, but it does now, so hooray I guess. This would not only give Peacekeeper a solid charged bash mix-up, but it would also counteract her neutral pressure problem. Since the bash is also guaranteed after heavy parry, just like Nobushi's stab, she would spiral out of control in no time. And if you were to survive her 1000 cuts, she would just use the neutral bash again to get you to bleed. The external pressure she could create with her charged bash is also nothing to scoff at. Aramusha doesn't really need anything. His pressure state and defensive state are extremely solid, and he can dish out a disgusting amount of damage in little to no time. With his unblockables that he uses to great effectiveness not only in 1v1 but also in 4v4 situations, it seems like he doesn't need anything more. But here comes the crazy part. Aramusha's heavy hit stun combined with his fast chain combo heavies make it so that you can't dodge out of his chain without getting tagged by another heavy. So let's just give him a combo bash. Of course it would be Juren's combo bash, due to the massive frame advantage. This would mean he has access to a true 50-50 that is unpunishable, since Juren's bash isn't gut breakable, and he can just blade stance any sidestep attempts. Yeah, okay, that would be fucking broken, but that's kinda the point. You could also go for the tiny bit more merciful route and give Musha access to Juren's held gut break, giving him an option to immediately regain all of his stamina after gut break, which he lands a lot of, perfectly counteracts his higher stamina consumption. Tiandi isn't as flashy as the other suggested changes, but that doesn't make him any less broken. You could give him access to Hammer Slam, since his kick already unbalances opponents. This would mean that he no longer deals 20 damage with a kick, but 32. If you combine that with his ability to dodge cancel his recoveries, you wouldn't be in a disadvantaged state after a Hammer Slam like Jormungandr, but you would get a free mix-up. If you wanted to front-load Tiandi with a bit of damage, you could always just give him Pirate's pinning move. Even though Tiandi does not have access to the pistol shot follow-up, he would just go for the kick instead of the shot. Something that is also worth considering is changing his combo lights. I know his 400 millisecond lights are a solid tool to deal damage, but they really lower his overall damage output. You could always just replace his combo lights with Pirate's light finishes, since they deal a solid amount of damage and have undodgeable properties. Having access to undodgeable light attacks as finisher attacks would also mean that you can always catch sidesteps if your opponent dodges your palm strike, since your light would just drag into their dodge. Shaman's shared move is a very obvious choice. Nobushi's backstab lights. Applying bleed just because you get heavy parried would exponentially increase your threat level. And no, stop using the soft feint heavy attacks after heavy parry, that shit is not guaranteed. All of your opponents just suck. I chose this move for the simple reason that if I were to give her Jormungandr's front step bash, it would replace her lethal pounce. Something crazy you could also do is give her Sohei's left side heavy. Since her left heavy really does not have good cleave and is very reactable, she wouldn't really lose out on a whole lot. For every other hero, you can just pick and choose between Pirate's front step heavy, Pirate's backwards moving heavy, both of Juren's bashes and his held heavy unblockable, or his held sidestep. Of course, you could also pick Sohei's zone attack. For every hero that doesn't have a non-guard breakable sidestep, I would say you can choose between Tiandi sidestep due to their crushing counter ability, or Pirate sidestep for its insane cleaving. If you can think of any more game-breaking combinations, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys can come up with. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I have just one more thing to say. Watch yourselves out there, okay?